What is up, Geek Army? It is Big D here at the epitome of geekdom, and I'm joined by a man who has been everywhere lately, Mike from LaughingStock Media. Say hello, Mike.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Mike from LaughingStock Media.
I mean, I thought I whored myself out, when I was in my 20s, but you are beating me.
Hey, I'm getting paid $50 a pop. I don't see why not.
You are?
No.
Okay.
Nobody would offer me that much for sex, let's be honest.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay. No, we're getting we're conflicting our ideas here, but we're going to talk about something that's better than sex, and that's Dragon Ball. I recently did a video on my channel, Dragon Ball Lost in Translation, about the androids and artificial humans and Dr. Gero versus Dr. Gero, and it really sparked me to this idea that we talked about a few weeks ago about how stronger 19 and 20. And I want to talk about that with you based on both the Dragon Ball Z anime and Dragon Ball manga. So I'll just kind of kick it off and then kind of get your thoughts about how strong they are. To me, bro, I've had a couple fans, I've asked a couple of fans about this, and a couple of them have said that they're equally as strong as Frieza in his fourth form. I don't think that's the case. I think they're a little, maybe not a little. I think they're pretty much stronger than Frieza, but they're definitely significantly weaker than 17 and 18 just based on what we see in the anime and the manga.
Yes, I definitely think that they're stronger than Frieza, and the reason why I think that also has to play into kind of meta reasoning, and that's because the fact that Akira Toriyama originally designed 20 to be the main antagonist along with 19 of that arc. So I don't see any reason why he would have made them weaker or on par with Frieza if they were meant to be the main antagonist originally. And even though they're significantly weaker than 17 and 18, the fact of the matter is that the second that Goku powers up to Super Saiyan in front of 20 and 19, they don't freak out. They are just like, oh, this is significant. His power is great, but we think we can handle it. This is within our parameters. So even though he was sick, that to me implies that
that's right.
They're probably weaker than the Super Saiyans, definitely. I mean, Piccolo was able to take out 20, the stronger of the two, supposedly, but I don't think that they're that much weaker, overall.
There's been a debate, or there was a debate a few weeks ago about SSJ God versus SSJ God SS, and one of the points that I made was that Toriyama rarely introduces a new form or a new transformation or a new villain that's weaker than the previous one. I can only think off the top of my head of two examples of when he's done this. Number one, and this is going to be controversial, but Kid Buu is Kid Buu's weaker than Buuhan, but remember what Toriyama wrote to balance that out was kill off Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Piccolo, so that way it's just Goku and Vegeta. Because we can agree that if it was all five of them, Kid Buu would have been fucked.
Well, I mean, even Goku implies that Gohan could have killed Kid Buu. So
yeah, because he had that infinite ultimate power. And then the other one, this is kind of an obscure one unless you're familiar with the series, but Tao, he is probably the strongest in that arc as far as villains go, but the last guy that Goku defeats is Black inside of the Red Ribbon Army suit. So
yes,
that's another example, but we're talking about physical strength versus technology, and that's kind of what we're talking about here, physical strength versus technology. The thing is, there's a scene where number 20 blasts Piccolo and he goes down, and the scene's kind of, people have forgotten that when he got hit, and this was during the Goku 20 fight, or the Vegeta 19 fight, I believe. No, Goku versus 19 fight. They believe that Piccolo was actually hurt, but if you watch the episode again, he was just faking it.
Yeah.
So the fact that Piccolo was able to easily beat number 20 and Vegeta even easier defeat 19.
Well, yeah, definitely. Especially if we're actually saying that the present timeline androids are stronger, which the manga implies. I feel like they're stronger than Frieza. Let's say maybe, I know that power levels are, they're pointless at this point, but for a range, maybe 160 million, you know what I mean? Like somewhere around that.
You're just ballparking.
Yeah, 160, 180 at the most. And I think all the Super Saiyans would be over 200 million, and I think that Piccolo would have to be stronger than 20 considering how well he, defeated him. So I think that they're a good amount stronger than Frieza, maybe stronger than Goku on Namek, almost certainly, yeah. But I mean, the androids, I feel like the androids are at least twice as strong as Frieza, probably at least twice as strong as Goku on Namek. You know, considering what they did to future Gohan, and considering how effortlessly they dominated everyone. I just think that the boosts in Dragon Ball are very overstated by fans, and they really just aren't as massive as a lot of people suspect. But still, it's a big difference.
I mean, the thing is, those 3 years of training that the Z Fighters did, that's what really set everything off. The reality is that had Trunks not gone back in time, let's pretend that even Goku never got sick. I think that even though Goku and Vegeta would have still trained and would have still been stronger, I think that with the message that Trunks gave them about how scary these freaking, Jinzou-Ningen, as BLACKENFIST would say, we know what I mean? Like, the message that he gave them about how scary they are, I think that it kind of inspired them to train even harder. So so basically, let's say 19 and 20 showed up, and let's say they showed up 3 years earlier. Let's say they showed up right after King Cold and Frieza were beaten by Goku in the History of Trunks timeline or whatever. I think they would have probably had their way with the Z Fighters, but those 3 years were a significant difference in power. And I do believe that had Goku not been sick, I think he would have probably defeated number 19 much easier. I've always felt that way.
Oh, I definitely think so too, especially considering that Vegeta was able to beat 19 after he absorbed Goku's energy and while he was absorbing Vegeta's energy. So I think that the difference would have to be somewhat significant, even though they say that Vegeta was stronger than Goku, and Piccolo knows this for a fact because he was training with Goku in Super Saiyan in the manga, at least. But yeah, I feel like they would have. I feel like post Yardrat Goku, before the 3 years of training, would have lost to 1920, but afterwards, no, I think he would beat them. I mean, Piccolo could beat them. We know Piccolo's not as strong as Goku.
So here's the big question that I know a lot of people are probably wondering, and the answer is in the manga. Why did Dr. Gero, or as he's supposed to be called if you watch the other video, Dr. Gero, why did number 20 choose to create 19 and turn himself into, an artificial human and shut away 17 and 18? Why would he not make 19 as strong as like 16, for example?
16 in some ways was a backup because, with his bomb, and it seemed kind of like he was this ultimate end plan. If Dr. Gero's killed, he'll just blow up the whole plan and take everyone with him. I feel like the reason why is because just maybe 19 was easier to control, because if I remember, the manga actually says that Jerome originally created 19 based on a doll he did in order to actually perform the brain transplant surgery on 20, and he believed that 19 and himself were the only perfect android cyborgs.
What an ego.
Yeah,
that's almost as bad as saying you're the most credible YouTuber in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I know, and that dude definitely knew he was the shit.
Yeah,
but
ice cold, no mistakes.
Absolutely, but I mean, there could always also be the fact that maybe Gero wanted to turn himself into an android, not only so that he could be, perfect and transhumanist, but maybe also because he actually did plan for Cell to eventually come out and become perfect and take 19 or 17 and 18 while they were still in their containment. So, I mean, that's always a possibility too. We really don't know what his plans were because, again, 17, 18 killed him before he actually was able to enact them.
Yep, and no matter what timeline, his fate was met the same way. Anyways, Mike, thanks for coming on, and thanks everybody for watching. Of course, leave a comment below with your thoughts. Do you think that 19 and 20 were strong enough to take out the combination of Frieza and King Cold? So if it was a tag team match, what do you think? I think, and there's a lot of rumors about King Cold's real power and speculation, I think 19 and 20 would have won, but that's just me. So thank you, Mike. As always, check out Laughingstock Media. The link's in the description below.
In either case, Android 16 is way stronger than 17 and 18, as well as 19 and 20. That old man without the muscles and that fat piece of shit.
Damn it, Mike, tase that guy.
Fuck you.